What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again. And listen, today we got all three spring leagues that we need to talk about, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. Let's start off with the USFL. Listen, we're within 2 weeks of the league. Everybody's excited. The players, the staff, the fans, and Fox's. And we've finally gotten who Fox's broadcast team is going to be. It's going to be none other than Curt Menefee and Joel Klatt. Now, if you've been watching Fox football for any length of time, you know that these two guys have been around for a very long time. You've got Curt Menefee, who has been part of the NFL pregame show, and you've got Joel Klatt, who is their senior college football analyst, and both of these guys do a fantastic job. And you know, this is just definitely going to take the product that we have on the field and just enhance it, because these guys are not only, you know, two of the best that Fox has, but they are really two of the best in the industry at what they do. And I think that this really just goes to show that Fox is putting their best foot forward here, and they're really trying to make the presentation of the USFL the best that it can be. And, you know, they're putting, you know, their best stars where they can shine. And, you know, it makes sense too, because, you know, this is in the spring. This doesn't, you know, conflict anything with the NFL or the college football season. So it's a perfect opportunity and downtime to really utilize these guys, especially utilize their talents, you know, in the broadcast team with that. So totally excited about this. This isn't anything crazy. We saw this with the XFL for both of them being part of that broadcast team as well. But it just goes to show you that they are, you know, this isn't something, you know, that they're kind of just, you know, putting people in there, trying things out. They're really trying to put the best thing that they can together and really make this successful. So that's really good to see with the USFL. And we'll just see how it all transpires here in less than a couple weeks. Exciting. We're getting football in less than 2 weeks. Just crazy to think about. Now, let's move on to the MLFB. And listen, this is not a league where we're moving forward. It's coming upon us fast. Everything is slow, and it just got slower. Why? Well, because I guess according to them, and I'm going to read it from them, they have received a term sheet for $7.5 million equity line investment from an institutional investor. And so to analyze this term sheet, they had to stop everything that they were doing and put it on hold for another week. Now remember, patience is strength is their motto, and they have been living up to that. And really, as a fan of this league, you have to be very, very patient with them. I don't really understand why you have to delay the announcement of the fourth, you know, head coach for this to happen. If you already had the name, you could go ahead and easily, you know, announce that information. I think the reason why they're doing that is to keep the excitement going, so there isn't too much, because this is an exciting thing for them. I have no clue what this means. Now, I do know a term sheet. What is a term sheet? Well, you know, to go into an actual binding contract, they're bringing, you know, this other entity, this institutional investor is bringing their sheet in saying, okay, you know what, we would like to invest $7.5 million, and here are our terms. And, you know, and then, you know, what happens, they review them, they go back and forth, and then they actually do a formal contract. So this is really the start of the process, and they're kind of reviewing everything, going through it. But pretty much everything that was supposed to happen this week is going to be pushed back a week. So all of the merchandising, all of that, you're not going to see any of that stuff for another week, or at least it's not going to be started for another week. And then also the fourth head coach that they're going to be having for this season isn't going to be announced until next week. We'll see what happens. It's a publicly traded company, so they have to, anything that does happen, you know, they have to put it out there. So we'll find out exactly what this $7.5 million, you know, equity line investment from an institutional investor really means, and what it is. You know, $7.5 million is, you know, exactly half of what, you know, The Rock, Danny, and Redbird bought the XFL for. But, you know, I don't know exactly is this a loan? Is this money that they're getting? we'll see how that all transpires. If it's going to be one of those things with the AAF, where I can't remember his name, it was the owner of the Florida Panthers swooped in, or one of the NHL teams swooped in there, wanted all of these demands, brought in all of this money, and then pulled the plug and gained control of the league, and then pulled the plug on the league. I don't think that they're going to allow anything like that to happen, but I don't know. They're in the negotiating talks with this. We'll see what transpires as we move on with that. Now, to talk about the last and third thing is, what is this countdown for with the XFL? I'm looking at this countdown, and it reminds me to watching The Lost. Like, is there some button I need to push, something I need to do? So I saw it on their website, and it said be the first in line. So I put down my email address and my zip code, and I submitted it. Who knows what I'm going to get? Is this website going to reappear back? Tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern seems to be when this thing is going to, be, I think at noon, Eastern is when this thing's going to be taking off. I have absolutely, no clue what it's going to be. Like I've said before, I want it to be the teams, where they're going to be located, the logos. I want all of that. I want it now. I want to see that. That's the stuff that kind of gets me excited right now. Maybe we'll get all that. Maybe we'll get coaches too. I have no clue, but there's a big announcement that we were told by The Rock, that The Rock and Danny have been hinting at. They've been talking about the X. I don't know if that's what we're going to call it now, the X. Who knows? But like I said, if it's going to come in packages, I want the whole thing. But if I'm only going to get one bit or piece here or there, I would love to have the cities and, the team mascots and names and the branding. I would like to have that first. Then, you can give me the coaches, and then we can go from there with it. But it's cool. It's interesting. They're going to be launching this stuff. They're going to be relaunching, I think, the website, because that's what you see is what you get with this countdown here on their website. So totally excited to see what we get in a day. I'm definitely going to be watching my email to see what I get, and then we'll talk about it. As always, I want to know your thoughts down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about any of this stuff, or if there's something that I missed. I'd love to know. All right, guys, listen, I know that you're busy, and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.